Rory Sutherland says that the opposite of a good idea is another good idea. What if the opposite of being right wasn't being wrong? And what if the opposite of being wrong wasn't being right either? And what if you and I were wrong more and we would accept to be wrong more? Let me explain. A week ago, I ordered this camera, the one that I'm using for recording. And I've decided not to go with the usual Amazon order. I went to a local Berlin shop. They would ship to my address. The camera was available. It was a simple thing. And obviously, as I clicked add to cart and bought it, the problem started rising. The camera wasn't in stock. The e-commerce website wasn't updated. Then it took some time to actually get the camera from the distributor. Then the camera was passed on to DHL. DHL couldn't deliver on the day they wanted, and so on and so forth. And for all of this time, I thought, oh, the shop is wrong. Oh, the distributor is wrong. Oh, DHL is wrong. What actually had happened here is I was wrong. I decided to bet on the small mom and pop store, and it didn't work. That's why Amazon makes gazillions, because it has internalized and it made absolutely certain that the customer never has to feel like they made a wrong decision. Free, fast shipping and low prices are like staples of how people feel good about things. I feel good because I got the lowest price. I feel good because I had it in the shortest possible time. I feel good because I made a good decision. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot because I've been watching The White Lotus. And The White Lotus, no spoilers here, but The White Lotus is one of these shows, is one of these stories. It's not a new story at all. It's about a hotel and it's about rich and powerful guests and the hotel staff and people that live around the hotel. There's these stories since ancient Rome. There's these stories about masters and servants, about how they are doing evil things to each other. But I think The White Lotus, which is in a tradition of shows about evil, really turns this being right, but especially being wrong, to 11. There's a few other shows like Succession or movies like Triangle of Sadness, where you can see that the characters are not just in a moral decline, they are in moral depravity most of the time, and they perfectly justify their actions. In their own minds, they're all right. In reality, they are completely rotten, and the whole show is a celebration of evil. Now, I'm interested in right or wrong, and I'm interested in good and evil as a storyteller, because I know that every good story needs evil in it. We're not here to celebrate Harry Potter because he's good at school at Hogwarts. We're here to celebrate Harry Potter because he has enough evil in himself that he was able to conquer Voldemort. It's the same story with Frodo and the Ring of Power. It's the same story with Luke Skywalker and the dark side of the Force, and Darth Vader, and embracing the different aspects of and accepting and refusing evil. It's the same thing over and over again. When we go and open a book, we want to go through evil into goodness. And what Succession and The White Lotus does, it reminds us that actually the point of view of good and evil is variable. It changes. You know, if your bank account has $1 billion in front of it, your idea of good and evil might be different. And so I'm thinking about my day. I'm thinking about maybe I should think a bit more that I'm wrong a lot of times. Like when you're on a sidewalk, everybody walking slower than you, what do you think about them? And everybody walking faster than you and maybe zipping by, what do you think of them? I'm sure that we are all judging each other. And what are we using as a benchmark? Like the speed I am walking, that is the right speed, that is the benchmark. And everybody who's slower, slowing me down. Everybody who's faster is disrupting me. And this happens even more when we are confronted with life decisions, like coaching, for instance. I never get from somebody who wants to coach with me the exact process that they are dealing with internally. Because when we go to an expert, we want the expert to be right, but we also want to be right. And when we're confronted with the decision of investing in ourselves, for instance, for mindset coaching, and we're there and we start to make excuses. So the first excuse is, well, it's too expensive, which is a translation of, I'm not worthy of an investment like this, which is a translation of, I really need to do this internal work because I really need to feel valuable, but I'm not ready to feel valuable. And then, oh, it's not the right time. I don't have the bandwidth. I will have more time later, which means, well, simply that I want to be right. I want to know that this is the right work to do. I want you, the coach, to be right because I want you to be the right person, but I need something external to me that I can point to and say, oh, no, it's not the right time. What if only the time was right? I mean, the time to work, when is the time to invest in your mindset? Let's say that your mindset is working against you. So at the beginning, you don't realize it, but then it's an open wound. You connect with people, you interview different coaches. This is stuff that people actually do. And they interview me in the process. They get a definite plan of what they need to do. They don't act. What happens then? Well, what happens then is that in 6 months, that open wound is infected. In a year, they have gangrene of the mindset. And in a couple of years, they'll probably have to amputate. They metaphorically amputate, but that problem becomes untenable. You observe it, you do nothing, it goes worse and worse and worse. And at some point, even having observed that problem becomes one of the obstacles that you need to work around. What I wish for myself, and I wish for you as well, is to accept to be wrong more time and accept to be wrong internally. Not point the finger, not blame the delivery service, not blame the right time, not blame the high ticket price. I invite you to watch The White Lotus, as I invite you to watch The Triangle of Sadness or Parasite or Succession or Dangerous Liaisons, or read it even better, because these are all stories that make it a little bit more fuzzy what it is to be right and what it is to be wrong, what it is to be a hero or what it is to be an anti-hero. And the opposite of being wrong is not being right. There's a million ways of being right and a million ways of being wrong. And we can explore more of these ways, and we can explore the dark sides of our behaviors in a more free way. And that will allow us to access that transcendent function, that ability to get over the opposites, get over good and evil, which is the source of true creativity. I know this might sound a bit theoretical, but this is what the ancient Oriental traditions tell us, that what is the illumination? The illumination is the moment where I stop thinking in dualities. I stop thinking in male and female, in black and white. I stop thinking in good or bad, in hot or cold. And when these concepts come together, the first step, I think, is to allow ourselves to feel when we are wrong and not blame others and not immediately tell the world, oh, I'm right, But DHL is late, those lazy bastards. Because they are not late. They have their own reasons. And most probably, the sequence of events that has caused you to be unsatisfied and you to feel that you have to point fingers, that sequence of events was started by you. If you're watching, and if you're still watching, definitely you should subscribe. But also, why don't you add a comment and you tell me why you're watching? I'd love to know that. Thank you so much. Oh, and is the new camera any good? Do you like the new framing? Should I do something? Yeah, let me know.